Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lora Rolling and this is part 1 of the spring chick ornament tutorial. This is the spring chick ornament. It is so cute and colorful. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. I can't wait to get started on it. Today we're going to do the triangle called the grass. We just have a few materials to get ready, so let's get them listed and then we can get started. Let's go. Okay, so the beads that we're going to use in today's project are all Miyuki Delicas. I have silver lined green, opaque chartreuse, opaque carnation, silver lined fuchsia, silver lined violet, and opaque delphinium. Just to make it easy, I'm going to call this green, light green, pink, hot pink, purple, and blue. We're also going to use some beading thread and a beading needle. I like to use the Eslon Fire in the color Crystal. I have the 4-pound. You can also use 6-pound thread if you'd like. And then I like the size 10 beading needle. You can use a size 12 if you'd like. For implements, I have the long nose pliers to hold on to my thread, and I cut my thread with scissors. But for the tail, I like to use the fire method, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Last but not least, we have our 2.36 inch plastic crafting ornament. I get these in the 12-pack at my local hobby shop, or you can find them in my Etsy shop if you just want to buy them one at a time. Alrighty, so we just need to pour little piles of beads to the side and then thread our needle with 3 feet of thread, and then we can get started. So I've threaded my needle, and now I'm going to pick up my first 3 beads, which are all 3 green. I'm going to take my 3 beads, I'm going to slide them all the way down to the bottom of the thread, leaving about a 6-inch tail. I'm going to tie a square knot. So that means I'm crossing over, and then I'm going to pull the tail through. And then I'm going to cross over on the top and pull the tail through again. So it looks like a little snowman. I'm going to put 2 fingers in the bottom loop and pull the top loop tight. Now I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to singe it, but I'm not going to touch the flame to the thread. I'm just going to get super close. And what happens is it turns into this teensy little bead or knot. Now I have my 2 fingers in the loop, and I'm going to pull on the long thread while I twist the loop until that tail knot touches the long thread. So just like that. And now I'm going to take my thumbnail and I'm going to pull that knot down to the 3 beads, making a little triangle out of the beads. Now, if you notice, the knot is close to one bead and a little further away from the other bead, and that's what we want. If it's in the center, just try to pull your thread a little bit to one side so that it's closer to one of the beads. Now we're going to pick up our next 2 beads. So this is actually the complete row 1. We're now starting on row 2, which is 1 light green bead and 1 dark green bead. And it looks like we're coming out of this bead because that's where the knot is. We're going to sew down the bead that the knot is furthest away from. And we're going to try to get those beads to sit on top of each other. Now let's pick up 2 more beads, 2 dark green beads. And we're coming out of this bead, we're going to sew through the next bead. Sitting those beads right on top of each other. Then we're going to pick up 2 more beads, 1 dark green and 1 light green. Coming out of this bead, we're going to sew through the next, and we're also going to sew through the bead right below that one. When we sew through 2 beads like this, it means that we've completed our row and we're now stepping up to start our next row. So this is the end of row number 2, and that's what it should look like. Starting row number 3, let's pick up 2 light green beads and sew through the next. And now let's pick up 1 dark green bead. You'll notice we're coming out of this bead. There's an inner bead and there's an outer bead. This one we're going to call the down bead. This is called the up bead. So we're skipping the down bead. We're going to sew through the up bead. Now let's pick up 2 dark green beads and sew through the next bead. Pick up 1 dark green bead, skipping the down bead and sewing through the up bead. Let's pick up 2 light green beads and sew through the next. And we'll pick up 1 dark green bead. This is the last bead in this row, so we're going to skip the down bead. We're going to sew the up bead and sew the bead right below that one. So we are sewing through 2 beads, which means we are stepping up, and now we're ready to start row number 4. Let's start with 2 dark green beads. I said I was going to call these green, but now I'm calling them dark green. I think that's easier to follow. We're coming out of this bead. Let's sew through the next. I turn my work as I go. It makes it easier for me to sew. Let's pick up 1 dark green bead. We're skipping the down bead. We're sewing through the up bead. Let's pick up 1 dark green bead, skip the down, sew through the up. Turn. Pick up 2 dark green beads, sew through the next. One dark green, sew through the up. 1 dark green and sew through the up. 2 dark green, sew through the next. one light green, sew through the up, and one light green, sew through the up and the next bead below it. Sewing through 2 beads means we get to start row number 5. Let's start with a hot pink and a light green. Now we'll pick up a dark green, one dark green, one dark green, let's pick up one blue and one dark green. One dark green, one dark green, one dark green, one light green, and one purple. Oh wait, I almost picked up a dark green and purple. This is what we need. Okay. One purple, one dark green, one hot pink, and this is our last bead, so let's sew through 2 beads, and now we're ready to start row number 6. Let's start with one light green and one dark green, one light green, one dark green, one dark green, one dark green, if you notice, we are making a triangle, so at the corner we always pick up 2 beads. Let's pick up 2 dark green, one dark green, one dark green, one dark green, one light green, we're at the corner, we'll pick up one dark green and one light green. One purple, one light green, one light green, and one hot pink. Sewing through 2 beads, and now we are starting row number 7. Let's start with one dark green and one blue. One dark green, 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 at the corner we'll pick up 2 dark green, one 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 dark green, we're at the corner, let's pick up one pink and one dark green. One light green, one light green, one dark green, one light green, and the last bead in this row is one light green. So through 2 beads, and now we get to start row number 8. Let's pick up one light green and one blue. One light green, one dark 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 green, at the corner we'll pick up 2 dark green, one pink, one dark green, one hot pink, one dark green, one dark green, one light green, At the corner, we'll pick up one pink and one light green. 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 And one light green. Sewing through 2 beads and starting row number 9 with 2 light green, one dark green, one light green, one dark green, one pink, one dark green, one dark green, one dark green, two dark green, one 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 light green, one dark green, two light green, one dark green, one light green, one light green, one dark green, one light green, one light green, and one dark green. Sewing through 2 beads and starting row number 10 with 2 light green, one blue, one dark green, 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 1 hot pink, 1 dark green, 2 dark green, 1 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 pink, 2 dark or light green, sorry, 1 light green, 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 1 light green. So through 2 beads, and now we're ready to start row 11 with 2 light green. I don't know what's going on with me today. 1 light green, 1 light green, 1 dark 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 green. At the corner, we'll pick up 2 dark green, 1 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 light green, one light green. At the corner, let's pick up two light green. One light green. One dark green. One light green. One light green. One dark green. One light green. One light green. One dark green. One light green. And sew through two beads. And now we get to start row number 12. Question of the day is actually a question that I'm going to answer that came up in one of the comments in one of the past videos. And that is, if you don't have a lighter or you don't like to use the fire method, how do you end the thread, the tail thread? That is so simple. When you start your first row with the 3 beads, just tie a knot at the top of the the second loop, which is like the snowman's head. And then that knot, just hold on to your tail thread while you work a few rows. And once you get to like row 5 or 6, you'll have enough beads to then take your tail thread, and you can just put a needle onto your tail thread and then just weave it through like 8 to 10 beads, zigzagging back and forth, just hiding the thread, and then you can cut it off with your scissors. Okay, so that's how you end your tail thread without using the fire method. Alrighty, let's start row number 12 with 2 light green. One light green. One light green. One light green. One dark 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 green. At the corner, we'll pick up 2 dark green. One dark green. One dark green. One dark green. One blue. One dark green. One dark green. One dark green. 1 light green, 1 light green, 1 light green, 2 light green, 1 light green, 1 blue, 1 blue, 1 light green, 1 light green, 1 light green, 1 light green, 1 purple, 1 purple, and 1 light green. Sew through 2 beads. And now we've completed row 12. That's all 12 rows. Now we get to add our connector beads. Now, if this is the first triangle that you have ever made with me, let me explain the connector beads to you. When you connect the triangles together, some sides are going to need connector beads and some are not. So in this case, this one needs connector beads on this side, but it doesn't need connector beads up this side, and it doesn't need connector beads on the top. So it'll end up looking like this one. So to start that, the first thing we need to do is cap our ends with 1 bead. So let's pick up 1 light green. And now we're going to add connector beads. No, we're not. We're not going to add connector beads on this side. Sorry, I had that flipped over. This one, I guess, was flipped the wrong way. So we're not going to add connector beads to this side. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over so that the kind of the bend is happening on the top. It makes it so much easier for you to sew. So your thread is coming out of this bead right here without picking up any beads. We're going to sew all the way through all of the beads. Oh, I did 2 beads at a time, hiding the thread. If you see the thread, then you're skipping beads, so you need to back up out of that bead and then don't skip the bead. Okay, so hide the thread going through all of the beads until you end up in this corner bead. Now you don't have to choose the beads that I'm sewing down, but you do want to catch beads that are in this quadrant right here. Any random bead is fine as long as your thread is not showing and you end up in that top corner bead. Well, it's the bottom of the grass, but it's the top in this video, the way I'm holding it right now. So I'm sewing through each bead 1 or 2 at a time, making sure that my thread is hidden. You can't see it at all. And now I've reached the top corner again. Okay, so coming out of this bead, we're going to pick up 1 dark green bead and we're going to sew through the next, capping that point and making it kind of pointy, right? So now we are going to add beads up this side. So let's start with adding 1 dark green, 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 1 light green, 1 light green, and 1 light green. Now we're at the corner again. Let's cap it with 1 light green, turning it into a point. And now we're going to sew up 6 beads, hiding the thread without picking up any beads at all. We're going to sew through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can do many at a time if you want. I just did them one at a time. Now we're coming out of this bead. We're going to sew in the opposite direction, sewing down the bead right next to it. And then we're going to sew up the bead right next to that one, zigzagging our thread. Now we're going to sew up 2 more beads, 1, 2, and we're going to zigzag again. We're coming out of this bead. We're going to go down the bead right next to it and up the bead next to that. Sew up 2 more beads, and now I feel that this corner bead is nice and secure. It's not going to get loose. It's not going to fall out. That's why we did the zigzag twice. And now we're ready to cut our thread. So I'm going to take my long nose pliers and I'm just going to hold on to the thread. My scissors are going to go as close to the bead as possible without cutting the bead. Don't cut the bead, just cut the thread. And now we are finished with our triangle. I want to show you how the connector beads work. So you have your connector beads on this side, and this one does not have connector beads, but this one does, this side does. So do you see how they're going to fit perfectly? Don't put them together yet. Just make 5 of these all together. So you'll need to make 4 more, and I will see you in a second. That was so much fun. Thank you so much for being here with me today and beading along with me. Remember to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so you're notified when the next video comes out. I can't wait to see you there. Thanks for watching.